Good day, my lovelies. I hope we are all doing wonderful on this lovely, lovely day. So today, guys, I have another, I suppose you'd call it like a miscellaneous or a travel related video. So we're going to look at all 50 states of the USA. Right, so I've had a look at a few kind of videos that are similar to this, and it compares states by income or geography or, in some cases, history. And I've been trying to look at states one at a time and trying to find out where the best places to visit to really highlight the features of these states and to show everyone, showcase the state if you like, and show everyone the best that each state has to offer. So I'm slowly getting my way around the USA. But today we have a video that is going to compare all 50 states side by side. And this video comes as a request from Arctic Tron from my Patreon. Hello, my friend. How are you doing? Thank you so much for requesting this video for me. So yes, Arctic Tron, you say, I've been trying to learn a little bit more about America and all of her states. I absolutely have. And her history and her cultures and her delicious foods. Absolutely. So here we are. We have a video that's going to compare states side by side and give us some fun facts along the way. So let's get cracking with the video, shall we, guys? And as ever, if you're enjoying these reactions, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, my lovelies. If you're interested, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account. The link is over here. And if you're interested in supporting my channel any further, then I have a Patreon account. The link is in the description below. Thank you so much.
This is Every State in the US by Wendover Productions and made possible by the great Courses Plus. We'll start with Alabama, the first state alphabetically. Magnolia Springs, Alabama is the only town in America to have their mail delivered by boat.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh, I was just going to say, do you know, in school, I think this would have been in about the 10th grade, so our year 9. My geography teacher, I loved her to pieces. She was adorable. For some reason, kind of geography kind of related task, she got us all, our entire class, to memorize all 50 states in the USA alphabetically. And we were tested on it each week until enough of us actually remembered these states. I think I did quite well. I was always caught out by the M's. You have like 8 states, I think it is, that begin with M. There was always one that I left out and forgot, and it was a different one each time. It was very, very frustrating. But yes, we didn't really learn any more about the geography of America. It was just this odd kind of little task that she'd give us. It kind of worked. I think I remember all of them, but if I was to have to list them down alphabetically, I think there would still be a state or two that began with M that I would accidentally miss out. It's when you put on the spot, it's really difficult to remember all of them. Maybe not so much for viewers from the US.
So the longest mail delivery route in America is in rural Oklahoma, where delivery drivers have to drive 187.6 miles each day to deliver the mail to around 200 houses.
Well,
Oklahoma's state vegetable is
well
the
done,
watermelon,
guys.
which happens to be a fruit. And Oklahoma is also home to Kansas, the town. The real Kansas, or more specifically this point, is the geographic center of the contiguous United States. What Kansas is not home to is Kansas City, which counterintuitively is in Missouri, where the population center of the US is. The
that's not confusing at all.
average location of every American. Missouri borders 8 states, and is therefore tied with Tennessee as the state that borders the most other states. Tennessee was a southern state that seceded from the United States and joined the Confederacy, except for Scott County, which seceded from Tennessee and formed the unrecognized independent state.
I didn't know that. And I've been watching an awful lot of American Revolution videos, not even the Revolution, also the Civil War. So I didn't know that. Oh, that's a fun fact. Okay.
County didn't actually officially rejoin Tennessee until 1986. Tennessee's western border was originally defined by the course of the Mississippi River, which has since changed course, which has led to all these enclaves and exclaves of the 2 states on the 2 sides of the river. The Arkansas River, a major tributary of the Mississippi, begins all the way in Colorado, where nobody's entirely sure which mountain is the tallest, Mount Elbert or Mount Massive, since their heights are within 10 feet of each other, and people keep building piles of rocks on the summits to make one mountain taller than the other.
Oh, you pranksters, you cheeky chappies. That's so funny.
Colorado is also home to America's longest continuous street, Colfax Avenue in Denver, at 26 miles long. But the shortest individually named street in America is reportedly McKinley Street in Bellefontaine, Ohio, at a mere 28 feet long. Ohio's northernmost point is actually north of Canada's southernmost point, Pelee Island. Pelee Island, Canada, in fact, is farther south than parts of 27 states, including California, which as a state has a higher population than the entire country of Canada. Los Angeles, California, despite being on the Pacific Ocean, is east of 6 state capitals, including Nevada's. Nevada has the point in the entire United States where you're farthest from a McDonald's, only 116 miles. Although Nevada is not the state with the fewest McDonald's. That title goes to the state with 29 McDonald's, North Dakota, which according to some legal experts wasn't technically a state until 2012, since their constitution was missing this sentence, which meant it didn't fulfill the federal requirement for statehood.
Oh. It could have been worse, couldn't it, guys? It could have had much more of an impact earlier on. So fortunately, was this just not noticed until like the 20th century? Oh, that's a bit of a blunder, isn't it?
Despite having the fewest McDonald's, North Dakota is not America's least populated state. That's Wyoming, which has 2 sets of escalators in the entire state. Wyoming is well known for hosting Yellowstone National Park, although a bit of it spills over into Idaho. Though in this section, you can get away with murder. You see, with the 6th Amendment, if you're placed on trial, it's required that you are judged by a jury of your peers, which means individuals from the same state and federal district as where the crime was committed. Yellowstone is its own federal district, meaning you need residents from Yellowstone to be on the jury. Although if you were in the Idaho part, you need Yellowstone residents from Idaho to be on the jury. Except this 50 square mile section is entirely uninhabited, so they wouldn't be able to form a jury, which means you'd walk free. There's also one—
No, I'm sorry. I'm sure that's correct at the time that this was. Sorry, Arctic-tron, you did tell me that this video is about 8 years old, so maybe some of the facts are a little bit outdated. And you know, it's one of those interesting facts where I don't doubt it, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be a loophole. Not a loophole, but you know what I mean. There'll be something in place, which means that you can't get away with murder. Oh my gosh, not there, surely. There's got to be something else. Isn't there, guys? Tell me there's something that stops this from being a thing, because that's crazy. Oh my gosh, has that ever happened? I hope not. Let me know in the comments. That's a very interesting fact.
One single road connecting the entire southern section of Idaho to the northern section.
Okay.
Idaho, with its fairly low population, has one single telephone area code for the whole state, just like neighboring Montana.
Yes, I've heard
Montana is home to the
this.
least busy commercial airport in the US, Dawson Community Airport, at 4,000 passengers per year, or about 11 per day. Missoula, Montana is
That would be a nice quiet airport to go to, wouldn't it?
also home to the warehouse of DFTBA, where you can buy one of these, a Wendover Productions t-shirts, for only $20. The link is in the description. The busiest airport in America is Atlanta's, at 49 million passengers per year, or 135,000 per day. Peachtree, a suburb of Atlanta, is a community that has 90 miles of golf cart specific roads adjacent to its normal roads, since 9,000 families here have golf carts as their second cars. Kids are even encouraged to drive to school from the age of 12 in their golf carts.
Is that a thing? No, really? I mean, I bet that's super fun. How dangerous is a golf cart, do you reckon? They're only little, aren't they? But they could still cause accidents. You know what, I can imagine. I've got images going on in my mind of golf cart drag racing now. And gangs that drive around in golf cars.
Georgia, or more specifically Springer Mountain, Georgia, is the start to the 2,200-mile-long Appalachian Trail, which is a hiking trail that terminates all the way up at Mount Katahdin, Maine. Maine is the only state in America to only border one other state, and it's also the closest state to Africa. Seriously, it's closer than Florida.
How? Geographically, how is it closer to Africa? Is it because it, like, maybe the continent's on an angle and we just don't really, because you can see it is at an angle, isn't it? On like an atlas on a world map. These crazy interesting facts.
Second closest state to Africa is Massachusetts, or more specifically Cape Cod, Massachusetts, which is
Okay.
technically an island, since a man-made canal separates it from the mainland. Massachusetts is actually farther from Miami than Panama City is. And Miami is closer to the country capitals of Nassau, Bahama, and Havana, Cuba than its own state capital, Tallahassee.
Oh,
Florida has the lowest highest point of any state,
I've heard this,
312 feet, 23 times lower than South Dakota's highest point. South Dakota is home to the geographic center of the entire United States, if you include Alaska and Hawaii, and it was made a state a mere 9 days before Washington, which was called Columbia before it became a state. Its name was changed as to not confuse it with the District of Columbia,
Yes,
but
yes.
obviously that didn't work out, since DC City ended up being called Washington.
Yeah.
Washington Place is the official residence of Hawaii's governor, and Hawaii was given its own unique currency during World War II that was its only legal tender, so that, in case the Japanese successfully invaded Hawaii, the federal government could declare all of Hawaii's currency worthless to prevent the Japanese from using it. The closest state to Hawaii is Alaska, whose capital, Juneau, has no roads connecting it with the rest of Alaska or North America, meaning you can't
remote.
drive in or out. Alaska is also one of the 4 states that completely bans outdoor billboards, along with Hawaii, Maine, and Vermont, whose
Why? It's completely banned outdoor billboards. Is there a reason? Is there a reason for that? I'm loving the random facts that are coming out of this video. Like, there are probably much more important facts that distinguish the states, but the random ones are the ones that are going to stick in your memory, aren't they, guys? They're the ones that we remember because they're so funny.
tallest building is only 11 stories tall. That's the
Okay.
shortest, tallest building of any state. The
So
tallest
kinda
building
tall.
in the States is Freedom Tower in New York. New York is home to Ellis Island, or at least part of it. Their territory is completely surrounded by New Jersey, similar to Liberty Island, home to the Statue of Liberty, which is completely surrounded by New Jersey waters, which means you need to travel through New Jersey to get from New York to New York. Clinton Road in West Milford, New Jersey has America's longest red light, a full 5-minute wait.
No.
New Jersey actually goes surprisingly
I'm sorry, that would infuriate me. Waiting at a red light for 5 minutes. Oh, you'd be devastated, wouldn't you? And knowing that it was going to take that long when you waited at that light, you might be tempted to put your foot down if you saw that yellow orange light. Oh my goodness. There is a little like a railroad train crossing light not too far away from here, and it is the longest one I've ever experienced in my life. Maybe it feels longer when you're actually waiting for the barrier to go back up, but I swear it goes down for nearly 5 minutes, and it's a nightmare. It's always when you're in a rush as well. Typical.
far south, farther south than Kentucky's northernmost point. In its
Oh.
southwest corner, Kentucky has a rather large piece of territory that's not actually connected to the rest of
Oh,
Kentucky.
'cause
Kentucky was the birthplace of Lincoln, who was later
Is that because the like you said earlier, the path of the river, it changes, the course of the river changes over time? No? Yes? No?
elected to the Illinois House of Representatives,
Yes.
and in Illinois is the original Burger King. But it's not the
Oh!
Burger King you're thinking of.
Oh.
This Burger King existed before this Burger King, and therefore
Oh.
sued Burger King when they came to Illinois for trademark infringement and won. So now no Burger King is allowed to operate within a 20-mile radius of this original Burger King. Chicago, Illinois,
Interesting.
America's 3rd largest city, is just a tad bit larger than the 4th largest city, Houston, Texas.
Oh.
And Texas is so enormous that El Paso, Texas is closer to Los Angeles than it is to Houston, Texas. Texas's northernmost point is also closer to Michigan than it is to its southernmost point. From Detroit, Michigan, you actually end up in Canada if you travel due south. And Michigan is the only state to be made of 2 entirely separated sections.
I did wonder this. This threw me for a long time because I didn't think they were part of the same state. And I must have had it in my head that if, a body of water separates the land, then it can't be the same state, which is ridiculous. I don't know why I thought that. But I did always, looking at the map, wonder and think, oh, what separated them? Or what was the history behind that? Because I doubt over the last 200 years that land is moved. So what is the reasoning behind that border, that state border? Let me know, guys. Random interesting question there.
Michigan's Highway 185 is actually a bike path, making it the only official highway in America where cars are banned. Michigan's Upper Peninsula is also only connected by land to Wisconsin, which is home to the Green Bay Packers, a team so popular that the waiting list for season tickets is 30 years long. It's so long that it's common for parents to put their kid's name on the list as soon as they're born.
How? Why? How does it become that long? Help me, guys. Help me understand that. Because they have so many fans, maybe? Oh, there goes Bento. Right. 30 years long. Oh my gosh. How? How does this happen? I think one of you viewers knows. Go on, let me know. Let me know. Is it a conspiracy? Or is it just because they've got so many fans?
In Watertown, Wisconsin is Utah Street, but the real Utah has the longest section of interstate in the US with no gas stations, 106 miles on I-70. I-70 ends over 2,000 miles away in Baltimore, Maryland, and the entire state of Maryland has 0 natural lakes. It also has this panhandle that reaches a minimum width of 1.8 miles before expanding back out to 30 miles width out near West Virginia, which is definitively a southern state, but also has this panhandle that reaches as far north as New York City and Nebraska. Minowi, Nebraska is the only incorporated municipality in the United States that has a population of 1. The one resident, Elsie Eiler, is mayor and runs the library and tavern, which is granted a liquor license every year by Elsie herself.
You go, Elsie. You go, girl.
Tortilla Flat, Arizona is 6 times larger than Minowi since it has 6 residents, and Arizona also has 1/4 of the Four Corners Monument, the only point where 4 states meet in the US.
Now, I did know that
Arizona,
one.
Utah, Colorado, and New Mexico, which as a state, by law, still recognizes Pluto as a planet. New Mexico is typically the last state to vote in presidential primaries.
Why on earth would you consider Pluto still a planet? I understand. I get it. I understand. But how can one state recognize it in defiance of all the other states? What is it? Do they have like their own independent like space program thing? Are they just being really stubborn? Like really dig their heels in? No, we feel really bad for the little guy. We love an underdog. It's a planet. I love that.
Primaries, whereas Iowa is usually the first.
Oh.
Iowa is the only state in the US whose eastern and western borders are both water.
Oh,
in this case, rivers. The eastern border is the Mississippi River, which happens to be the namesake for Mississippi. The Mississippi River also flowed backwards for a full 24 hours in 2012 during Hurricane Isaac. But the
that sounds very, very familiar. I remember reading that somewhere. It's got to be some kind of pub quiz trivia knowledge out there, but it's one of those really unusual facts that stick in your head, better than any other thing that you can remember. It's the weird facts that you remember, isn't it, guys? It really is.
Mississippi doesn't actually reach the ocean in Mississippi. It does so in Louisiana, home to the longest bridge over water in the world at 24 miles. That's so long that for 8 of those miles, you can't even see land on either side.
Wow.
One of the other longest bridges in the US is in North Carolina, the Virginia Dare Memorial Bridge, which carries cars out to Kitty Hawk, where the Wright brothers successfully flew a heavier-than-air aircraft for the first time in history.
Wicked.
It was a 12-second, 120-foot flight. That's shorter than the wingspan of a Boeing 747. North Carolina's southern neighbor is South Carolina, although South Carolina isn't all that south, since more than half of it is north of North Carolina's southernmost point, and South Carolina also has a town called North, making it North South Carolina. South Carolina was the site of the first Civil War battle, and the Civil War ended up having a total of one battle over in Indiana, where the Indy 500 Speedway is, which is so enormous that you could comfortably fit the entire country of the Vatican inside it. It can also fit 400,000 people, which is the highest capacity of any sports arena in the world. Indiana's state beverage is water, while Oregon's is milk. Portland, Oregon is also home to the world's smallest park, according to the Guinness World Records book, Mill End Park. Oregon is also one of the few states to not have a sales tax, along with New Hampshire, the only state to have no law requiring adults to wear seatbelts. Connecticut Lake in New
Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That law's there for a reason, guys, isn't it? It's to keep us all safe. Very interesting that there's just one state that doesn't have that law. Why? That's my only response to these unusual statistics, stats, facts. I want to know why. Where did that come from? Is there still someone really high up that insists it stays this way? How? In this day and age, how do you still have a state that doesn't enforce wearing seatbelts? It's crazy.
Hampshire is the source of the Connecticut River, which is what Connecticut, the state, is named after. Hartford, Connecticut's airport, at less than 3 million passengers per year, is the smallest airport in the US to have a direct flight to Europe. Delaware, on the other hand, certainly doesn't have a direct flight to Europe, since it's the only state that you can't fly to. There's not one commercial flight in or out of this tiny state. It's the second smallest state behind Rhode Island, which is so small that the entire state grows by 3% during low tide.
Oh my, that's nuts. So am I right in thinking that Rhode Island does have a commercial airport, since they mentioned that Delaware doesn't?
Rhode Island's second largest city, Warwick, shares its name with Warwick, Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania is Centralia, where the ground has been on fire since 1962 due to a coal mine fire, and it's expected to burn for over 200 years. Pennsylvania borders Minnesota. Well, not really, but Pennsylvania Avenue does intersect Minnesota Avenue in DC, and Minnesota is home to the northernmost point in the lower 48. You see, most of the US-Canada border is defined by the 49th parallel, but a surveying error led to this. The couple hundred residents of this area, called the Northwest Angle, are completely cut off from the US and need to pass into Canada, then back into the United States to go to school. Also in northern Minnesota is Virginia, the town, but Virginia, the state, is massive. So massive that Ewing, Virginia is closer to 8 other state capitals than to its own state capital, Richmond. Alexandria, Virginia is actually closer to Toronto, Canada than it is to Ewing, Virginia. Virginia also happens to go farther west than West Virginia. You can support Wendover Productions at patreon.com/wendoverproductions. Follow me on Twitter at WendoverPro, watch my last video on First Contact here, check out my fan-moderated subreddit here, and most of all, subscribe to this channel to receive all my future videos right when they come out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in 2 weeks for another Wendover Productions video. This is...
Right, okay. Oh my gosh. So crazy facts going on there. Arctic Tron, thank you so much for requesting this video. An eye-opener. I do love some random trivia, and all of those facts, to be fair, maybe except a handful, were very unusual. Only a handful of them did I actually know. So I've learned something new. I've learned a lot of new things. Let's see how many of them actually stick and get retained in my old memory. But we'll see. So very interesting there. It's very enjoyable to watch these videos. I do enjoy learning all about America's geography, history, culture. So guys, I hope you enjoyed watching that along with me and you learned something random and new along the way. If you know the answers to any of my questions as well, please guys, pop them in the comments. It's always so interesting to read all of your messages and your comments. So thank you in advance. Right guys, take care of yourselves, my lovelies. Much love, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye bye.